So I thought instead of doing a video talking about, oh, is Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered worth experiencing, I would rather talk about a video reminiscing about the series back when I played it when it was new. Alright, so I know a lot of my audience may be a little bit younger. They may have not been around or not been like really super into gaming way back on the early Xbox 360 days and PS2 and all that crap. I myself didn't get heavily invested in gaming until the seventh generation of consoles. I did have a PlayStation 1, and my first ever console was a Nintendo 64. Then I moved on to PlayStation 2, and that's all I had for the sixth generation. When the seventh gen rolled around, that's when I really started to get into gaming. So I got, first of all, I got a Nintendo Wii. That was the first console I owned in the 7th gen, and then I got a PS3, and then I got an Xbox 360 later. But I remember playing this game when it was new, and I played it first on PS3, and it was just all really shocking, more of an awakening to what really games could become in the future. And keep in mind that at the time that this game released, this is when games were starting to really get on that level of the cinematography that movies had for so long. Previously, sure, games had great storylines. You had the Metal Gear series, which was always very cinematic, and you had the Siphon Filter series and the Halo series, and all these great series that were, yes, very cinematic, but also still very gamey in their core. And it was around this time that we saw like a shift within the industry where we saw a lot of games starting to really tackle cinematic, cinematography with gameplay, and really just reach a whole new level in terms of their presentation when it came to a narrative. With Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the original game, I actually didn't play this game on release. And I didn't because I actually started with Call of Duty 3. That was the first Call of Duty game I played, was Call of Duty 3. And I absolutely detested Call of Duty 3. I thought it was terrible. I hated the game, and I didn't ever want to play another Call of Duty game again. I'm just like, I played this. They probably all suck. That was like my mentality back in the day. I wasn't as open as I was today to playing games and playing a variety of games. If I tried out a series and it sucked, I wouldn't try out the sequel or anything like that. I just wasn't interested. I either liked it or I didn't like it. And sadly, a lot of people live their lives that way and play games that way. Like they'll they'll play a series and they'll be like, well, I didn't like Dead Island, for example, so I'm not even gonna play Dying Light, their new game. And it's just, like, games can improve, a series can improve, and just because a game comes out and it sucks doesn't mean that the sequel isn't good. I think a lot of people wrote off games like Watch Dogs 2, for instance, because they really didn't like the first game. But Watch Dogs 2 is a fantastic sequel. It's just a really well done game. And you have a lot of games like that. They're just like, they have sequels that are just really well done, even though you may have not liked the previous ones. So what I want to talk about here with Call of Duty 4 is just sort of the feeling that it kind of evoked back in the day. It was a really incredible game for its time that just pushed the boundaries in terms of visuals and whatnot, and also extended the gameplay parameters quite wide. So what we had before was more or less a basic FPS. It was, Call of Duty was always like a World War II FPS that had a story and then had multiplayer and whatnot. But it was really with Call of Duty 4 that they started to introduce like really deep character development, and it was also in terms of their graphical presentation. And if actually playing this game now, it sort of made me realize what's wrong with the current generation of Call of Duty games. If you play Modern Warfare Remastered, or you play the original Modern Warfare, all the levels in that game were open, like very open, very wide levels, and they were humongous. And I really feel like the recent Call of Duty games just completely gone with linear corridor to corridor, loading screen after loading screen, segment after segment type of, gameplay. Where are these open levels? Where's the ability to explore? Where's the ability to walk off to the just to a different route or whatever? They had this really great open level design, and yes, it was linear in the fact that you had one objective and you would always end up going towards your objective if you just went forward, but you still had these large levels that felt real, and they felt like an authentic place. And a lot of these Call of Duty games, the most recent ones, yes, some of them are really good games in their own rights, but they're very linear games. Like I said, corridor to corridor, very closed, up close and personal level design. That sort of break it off with cutscene, cutscene, cut. Just cutting different scenes. And when I give my impressions of Infinite Warfare, you guys will also see what I mean, how they kind of got that game right in terms of that respect. But Call of Duty 4, really, I was playing this, right, and I'm just like, damn, this is awesome. The open level design and just everything, it was great. And especially seeing the visuals now, I think that Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered actually looks better than most, like probably on par with Infinite Warfare, but this game actually impressed me more than it did Black Ops 3. And I played Black Ops 3 at native 4K maximum settings on my PC, and I was more impressed with the remastered version of Call of Duty 4 visually, playing it on a PlayStation 4 Pro. This is PlayStation 4 Pro footage, by the way, that you guys are seeing right now. And the game really looks gorgeous. I think it's 1800p. I think it's either 1620 or 1800p, and it's checkerboard upscale. But many times this game actually just gives away the impression that it is a native 4K title. It looks really good, like really, really sharp, and there's a few aliasing artifacts here and there, and there's a temporal solution in place to prevent that even more so. But it looks really good on a TV. I was actually very impressed with the visuals here, and just continually was impressed, and it really just brought to life a lot of the environments in this game. In fact, it was like reliving, because the visuals were so good and the game was so well realized in this remastered, it just brought back that feeling of nostalgia, like, damn, these were the good days, when we didn't have DLC that cost $15, where games weren't like, 4 hours short, and it was all about multiplayer. No, these were the days when people put effort into their single player campaigns, where people focused on both providing a good story and as well as providing really entertaining multiplayer, where people would release a game and it would work and it wouldn't be buggy, it wouldn't be shitty, it would just be a good quality game. Like, these were the days, where you could buy a game and there wasn't a season pass thrown in your face immediately, and there wasn't like all this DLC that you could buy on day one. It wasn't like that. I remember the map pack for Call of Duty 4 cost, I think, $7 or $8, and you got 4 maps, I believe. 4 or 5 maps, and they were all brand new maps. $7 or $8 for a map pack. I remember I bought it. I remember paying that much for it. It's like, it's amazing how much things have changed over time, and it's not necessarily for the better. We sort of lose a lot of what made gaming great back in the day. It's very much corporate run these days. And sure, gaming was at a different place financially then than it was today. That it was at that point where gaming was really starting to propel itself forward above films. Nowadays, it's the highest grossing entertainment medium ever created. And so there's a lot of corporate bureaucracy in there, and there's a lot of people just trying to get in here and screw the customer out for more money. We see microtransactions. We see a focus on online gameplay. We see single-player games being always online. We've seen games released that are just broken and and aren't really that well developed and glitchy and stuff. And that wasn't ever an issue before. And this game sort of reminded me of way back then, and I didn't play this game, like I said, I didn't play this game on release. I got it a little bit later on, a couple months down the road, after friends were saying, no, you need to get this game, but just playing it again really just reminded me of how much we're missing these days. And I know a lot of the younger people aren't going to fully understand that, but it amazes me. If someone who was born when this game came out in 2007 is 10 years old now, and they probably never had the opportunity to play this game, it just blows my mind that you know, how fast time flies. You know, I'm 22 years old and gonna be 23 this year, and there's people who watch my channel who, you know, their first console was the Xbox 360 or was the PS3. That just blows my mind still, you know. But just as a reminiscent video here, we really have lost a lot of what made gaming great, in my opinion, and it was this period, this period of time within gaming where it really just propelled itself forward, you know, where cinematography was climbing and where DLC was cheap and affordable and you got a really good value for what you're paying for, where people weren't making all this online BS in your face. You know, it was just a really great time, you know, where people just sort of played games to have fun and really enjoy them. And we've lost a lot of that these days. You know, you see the gaming community and it's changed dramatically. You know, you have sequel after sequel being made. You know, the biggest issue with this generation, which I've always said, is that there's no new IPs that much. You know, we got a few new IPs and returns of old franchises, which are great. You know, but we don't have where's the new Assassin's Creed? You know, where's the new BioShock? Where's the new Mass Effect series? Where's the new Uncharted series? You know, it's like you have all these great games that were created, you know, in the beginning part of last generation, and we don't have anything like that today. You know, we got remasters of games that we love. We got sequels, you know, after sequel after sequel. We got resurrections of old franchises and the continuation of present franchises. You know, there just isn't those any of those new IPs that really just capture the essence of what made this generation great. We're still waiting on that, in my opinion. You know, this is honestly, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, when it was new, was one of the best. It was the pinnacle FPS. It was the game that you compared every FPS to. Had and not just an entertaining, but a really innovative and epic and character-driven single-player campaign with a great narrative, combined with visuals that really pushed the boundaries at the time, and gameplay that really just propelled Call of Duty to new heights. And also multiplayer, which, if it wasn't for Call of Duty and Halo, we should say, multiplayer gaming wouldn't be where it is today. Regardless of what you think about those franchises, they took multiplayer gaming to all new heights. I mean, it was Halo 3 that came out the same year as this game, and you know, Call of Duty 4 just sort of really took the helm in terms of its multiplayer audience. It's a shame to see that the Call of Duty, it's a reminder of how great the Call of Duty series was, and I still see speckles of greatness within the series, but it's almost gone too far down the gutter of corporate hold. You know, a new Call of Duty every single freaking year. You know, it's like, that's you know, cool, but do we really need one? You know, and people have been asking, and more so now than ever, people have been asking for a break. And Ubisoft listened with the Assassin's Creed series. You know, we haven't been getting an Assassin's Creed. We're probably be getting an Assassin's Creed game at the end of this year. But what if they delay it some more? You know, Ubisoft listened to people saying, no, give the series a break. And now I really feel like it's Activision's time to just listen and say, you know what, give the series a break here. Let it come back like 3 years later. Let it be epic, very innovative, super long single player campaign, great multiplayer. That just, let it be great. You know, I enjoy. I have played every single Call of Duty game from Call of Duty 3 onward. You know, a lot of people say, well, why do you still play Call of Duty? I do typically enjoy the series every now and then. There are some games that are just terrible, that I just wish I didn't waste my time playing, like Call of Duty Ghost, for instance, and even Black Ops 3's campaign was just terrible, you know. But I still enjoy the series from time to time, because when it comes down to it, it does have solid control still. It runs really well at the end of the day, and it's a series of consistency. Sometimes quality can be on or off, but most of the time, you know what you're getting when you pay for it. You're getting a very consistent experience. So that's it. I wanted to reminiscent about this series and just kind of explain to you guys about my history with the game, what I enjoy from it. I'm looking forward, to sort of getting into the multiplayer of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered. And right now I'm working through the Infinite Warfare campaign, so be on the lookout for those impressions very, very soon. And I will talk with you all later. Thank you guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.